You're listening to the Beer Craft Beer and Brewing Podcast. Tune in every Wednesday night at 6:30 Pacific for a dose of beer and brewing banter with your hosts, Ben Holm and Andrew Ziegler.
So hop aboard for some wit and wisdom in the Pacific Northwest, because it's always beer 30 on
The Beer Craft. Welcome to the Beer Craft Podcast, the show where we believe learning to brew should be just as much fun as drinking beer.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ben, and today we're sweating it out. Literally, because this episode is all about how to keep brewing when the temperature spikes and your fermenter starts looking nervous.
That's right. Summer brewing could be a nightmare if you don't plan for it. Unwanted esters, stuck fermentations, and the dreaded banana IPA.
Banana-flavored IPA. I'm not kidding. It's a crime against beer, and I refuse to let it happen on my watch. Today, we're going to walk through what happens to the yeast when it gets too hot, what you can do to keep your fermentation in check, and the beer styles that actually like it a little warm.
We'll also share some of our favorite yeast for summer, some budget-friendly cooling hacks, and a few tips to avoid turning your blonde ale into a fruit salad.
And hey, if you're listening and want to see the full breakdown in writing, check out the blog post at nwbrewers.com/thehotbreak. It's called Summer Brewing Tips. It's packed with the info, the diagrams, sweating fermenters. Hey, that might be all of us here in a few short minutes.
Yep, you're just going to get a lot of information there. But first, let's take a break, cool off, and chill out with our fermenters out. That is. What time it is.
That's good. Okay, this joke that I wrote is pretty good, but that was pretty good too. So we're gonna play with. So now do that one.
Chill the F out.
With our fermenters out.
And chill the F out with our fermenters out.
Fermenters, that is. Yeah. So the joke is like chill the F out. Chill the fermenters out, but
chill the F out.
Is for fermenters.
Fermenters. That is. Okay, got it. Okay. So chill the F out. Fermenters, that is.
That's right. It's time for a little something we like to call
Beer 30.
Andrew, how the fuck are you today?
What up, Ben? Oh, it's a great day. You know what time it is.
It's Beer 30, man.
What did you bring? It looked like.
I hope you're thirsty, because that's a mountain of beer. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a mountain of fruit, shandy,
we got shandies,
grapefruit, looking
shandies, rattlers, and a little homebrew today.
And a little Kveik homebrew.
That deserves a money shot. Look at all the beer we're gonna drink today. I'm kidding. We don't have to get through all of it. There's no requirement. However, we are talking about summer beer and,
brewing in the heat.
Langenklugel's summer shandy. They sell by the 6-pack, but they are, in fact, single serving. I don't know if you know that. A lot of people probably don't. But at 2.5% or 3.5%, I don't know what the hell.
You mean they'll sell these
4.2%?
Yeah, they'll sell these by the bottle.
Yeah, I don't know, but this is the first time I've shared a 6-pack. They're usually gone before noon kind of beers, and I think I can manage. They are twist up, which is a new feature here in the show. This newfangled contraption. These are just really friggin' tasty beers at 4.2%. They disappear rapidly. I think they evaporate quickly through the liver. I'm not sure.
You know what I brought?
What'd you bring today?
I brought a Blue Moon. Since we're going to talk about wheat beers.
We got
wheat beer.
I think we got 3 different wheat beers then, and then the Kveik.
I brought the new Blue Moon Extra.
I didn't know Blue Moon had an extra version.
Didn't either. Saw it on the shelf today.
Is it extra blue?
It is extra alcoholic. It's 9%.
9% Blue Moon. Holy.
9% Blue Moon.
Well, that's good, because the Schaffenhofer grapefruit rattler is only like 2%. Yeah, kind of traditional mix of things.
It's got a good nose.
The shandy
it smells like the lemon. Yeah. Took like a little trail down the forest and ended up in the hop field with a little bit of weed around it.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I guess they make an orange version of it. I've had the orange one too. It is pretty fucking good. They barely make it home from the store. I'm kidding. I don't.
The bitterness on this matches the acidity with the lemon, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's easy. It's a wheat beer.
That just like clears the way, for the rest of
a lemony wheat beer.
Yeah, the rest of the time to drink.
Mm-hmm. They do taste like some more. But how the hell are you, man? It's been a week.
I'm doing great. Pretty good.
It's a good way to be.
Take it away.
Hey, I did something cool last weekend.
Yeah.
I went down to the Lincoln Theater, saw a film. I paid good money to watch a documentary. I don't know. There's a lot of people might not get the opportunity to pay money to go see a documentary, but it was cool. It was called Rainier, A Beer Odyssey.
Oh, right on.
And it was a documentary on not only Rainier Brewing Company, but more importantly, their advertising.
Yep.
Which, for those of you who lived out here, Rainier Beer, man, had some really cool ads.
They did.
I think they were kind of
and the
original.
dancing bottles.
Yeah, the free range bottles of Rainier being chased down by by armchair cowboys. Like literally, instead of horses, it was a friggin' lazy boy. Instead of a cowboy hat, it's a trucker hats. They're wearing flannels and vests, and they're chasing down free range
the bottles.
Fantastic stuff. I thought, Rainier, that the ads that came out were, some of the best that have ever been done in the beer landscape as far as I'm concerned. I'm biased, but that doesn't make me wrong. I mean, I have a funny bent on marketing beer. I think it should be hilarious to boot. But it was a really good film. Fantastic film. I really felt good. It was a lot of fun to watch. The wife and I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
Kind of inspiring too for
Hour
me.
and a half.
It could have been forever long. They pared it down to like 2 hours and some change.
Wow.
Yeah, it was long.
That's nice.
Yeah, because it was like 7 p.m. showtime, and like 9:15 we were rolling out of there. We got there a little bit late.
Cool. It really makes it you think like you get the story.
Yeah.
There's a lot of meat to it.
They had not only did they have all of the ads, and they digitally remastered all of that, which means there's now a digital archive of
all their past ads.
Yeah, all the Rainier beer.
Maybe they'll run them again.
Right?
I mean, why
it's
not?
Still on the
they're
shelf.
Still selling.
Yeah.
I almost bought some today.
It'll get the job done. But they also had interviews with some of the ad agency, the guys from the ad agency who were still with us.
Yeah.
And, there were 3-hour conversations that they had to pare these little interviews down to like 5-minute clips or 5 minutes of clips for the whole show. Like, oh boy, they have some footage.
Right.
They had a lot of footage to tell that story with. So really cool. I do look forward to it coming back into town. And picking up a copy of it, like just to have that, as far as beer marketing goes, I don't think there was anybody touching Rainier in terms of. I mean, yeah, Budweiser's got a lot of money, and they fucking have a horse, and then sell you beer, or
dog, horse,
yeah,
frogs.
It's like yeah. Well, interesting that frog one. Budweiser had the frog. You know who had it first though? Rainier.
Rainier did.
Rainier had the first one, and Budweiser copied him. Remember, Rainier was not widely distributed outside of the Northwest. In fact, didn't get to California.
So it was a frog on the side of the side of the pond.
Budweiser but it was Rainier. Yeah. Or maybe it was like the Mountain Fresh. Yeah, it's kind of stuff like that. Yeah. Copied by Budweiser. It was pretty cool.
Oh, maybe we should try to highlight one of those ads or something. We'll probably get in trouble, huh?
I don't know. So they were big fans of spoofing pop culture for their commercials. I mean, one of their sales videos had like.
I mean, we could put it in.
They had like a Ronald Reagan impersonator and an Alfred Hitchcock impersonator doing like contemporary like jokes about stuff, and so I like that. It's kind of my It's my shtick.
I mean, they've got the AI now that are sounding more and more like the celebrities,
right?
Like somebody. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's creepy. Isn't
it is crazy.
Yeah. AI deep fakes for your voice.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, you can still tell. Because it's
can't
not
wait till
fluid.
they do mine, so I don't have to do it anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but then what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
You'll just run your AI.
Yeah. Well,
you'll have to constantly feed it.
We'll have bots that'll do our job for us, right?
Well, you'll have to feed it.
Shouldn't we have those?
It'll want to run off your energies, off your thoughts and your freedom.
Oh, see, when we get into like neural implant, you're gonna like get into neural implants. We can't even talk anymore. That's fucked up. That's my nightmare scenario right there.
We're basically robots then.
Yeah. Ah, man. Gonna drink this Langenklugel Summer Shandy. It's not bad.
Summer Shandy.
We
got the Scoffenhofer.
I've made one with a Pilsner base, like half and half lemonade and Pilsner. That's a pretty easy way to stretch your.
So what'd you make your lemonade with? Is it real lemonade?
I use lemons. Oddly enough, I like lemons.
Lemon juice?
Yep, lemon juice, little sugar. The real deal.
Okay.
We've been
No, I
recording,
touched the
right?
keyboard, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, you had that panicked look like, oh my God, we've been talking for 20 minutes and nothing has been recorded.
Yeah.
'Cause that could happen.
It's happened. It has happened. I had a pretty decent week. I didn't really do much over the weekend. Just hung out, just chilled. I don't even know. I can't remember.
I'm jealous. Too busy.
I think I was just rest, which is nice.
Yeah, that is good.
Probably why it's all a blur. That and a little whiskey.
Maybe that's why I'm so fucking tired, as I just worked all weekend again.
Yeah. Worked. I don't think I went in to work on Friday. I think I worked from home. And Saturday I went and I'm working on my arbor out back.
No, it's a big project.
My pond thing.
How's that coming along?
Good. Yep.
Yeah.
So all my beds are done. All my flower beds are done. Perennials are in. Yep. That's one thing I did over the weekend was
got some planting.
got that topsoil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went and topsoiled them all.
Yeah,
so they're all nice and happy.
Did a bit of that in the backyard.
Yep.
Yeah, wife's garden. She's feeling happy about that. It's like,
I need to nail up my little fence post slats on the outside of the beds, so it looks like a little tiny fence.
Oh, okay. I see what you
know, because it's gonna match my fence. It'll match the arbor. So
it's a thing.
It's a thing. It'll match the chicken coop. Chicken coop has the same slats on it.
Our garden is definitely a little more eclectic. Like I have hanging, like we posted to the fence like old bed frames, like wrought iron or the fake wrought iron shit. Like what are the Walmart ones? Like
so the beans can grow up.
So like beans or plants or clematis or some other,
right.
Fuck it. Like I take it, pay $28 at the dump to get rid of this fucking huge thing, or just bolt it to the wall,
right?
And let some plants
grow around.
Let some plants grow around it. Yeah. So I do silly things like that. I think the overall is very eclectic. It makes sense as
right.
No one piece does, but overall it does.
Right. I have these barrels, the metal rings from a barrel, and I mean the barrel's gone, but I have the metal rings left.
Sure.
And so I'm thinking about arranging them on my wall, hanging them on the wall in like a tri-circle something or other.
Oh, kind of like interlock.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Just something like that. Be a kind of eclectic art.
Yeah.
Metal art out there.
Yeah. It's not so. Try not to be basic.
Yeah. I want to paint my back porch. So you come to the house, and you drive up to my house, and it's kind of a normal neighborhood home, and it's normal color. It's like forest green trim with.
It blends into the tableau.
Yeah. Muted like. What is that color?
No, hot pink.
Like a gray green.
Yeah.
So, I'm sitting on my back porch and I'm like, well, this is just as boring as my front yard.
Bring a little, little pizzazz.
I need to put some pizzazz in there and like make a accent color wall.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think about, what I should do. I was trying to think about maybe make some diagonal stripes, maybe make like a silver stripe down it with a black.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah,
somebody's
like
bougie. I like
knows?
it. I like it. Yeah, I think like if you're gonna make your own private Idaho, man, make it look cool.
Right.
If you're gonna spend all summer long out there because it's too hot in the house or whatever, you might as well look good at it.
Right. I spend a lot of time out in the backyard.
Yeah. Drinking beer,
playing with the dogs.
That's right.
I mean, just visiting with all the nature out there. I got my landscaping done, so it's nice to look at.
Yeah.
I can feel relaxed about
Your
that.
chickens running around the yard yet?
Chickens are running around the yard now.
Yeah. They're never boring.
Nope. And with the new arbor goes the bird feeder. So the big bird feeder went out on the arbor. So now all the birds come, so I can sit on the porch, actually watch the birds without them being frightened off.
There you go.
And they have more places to perch. Now the squirrel, it's in proximity of the fence. So the corn and the seeds that come out of the feeder, now the squirrel's running over there. He's risking his life, right? He's risking his life running halfway across the yard, but you see him over there. He'll be just eating.
Yeah, they're opportunistic little turds, aren't they?
You'll see the dog and go tear it off. Super cool. Well,
Yeah.
let's.
Well, Well, I think that's going to be a
don't
wrap
just
on
blob
Beer
in
30.
here.
We will be right back. We are going to pour a fresh pint
We
of
are.
beer. We've got, this is,
What is this?
well, hold it still.
Schaffenhofener?
Schaffenhofener?
Schaffenhofer.
German, it is a grapefruit radler.
Schaffenhofer.
A Hefeweizen with grapefruit juice. Like, usually that beer is like a 50-50.
It's vegan. It's vegan.
It's vegan? Yeah. It's very good. I hope so. It's grapefruit, so I had to get it.
Here you go, Ben.
Pour me a pint.
Got you one pint right here.
Well, it's kind of got like a pink hue to that for ruby
like
red grapefruit kind of thing going on.
Just a little bit of that head for you.
Oh yeah, that. It's got like a nice. Ooh, that smells like grapefruit, man. I love that. I love grapefruit though.
So from a lemon to a grapefruit.
Yeah.
Oh, that smells so good. It's got that like that sweet grapefruit smell, that aroma. Oh.
That's pretty tasty. Shut up. 2.5%. You could drink this one for a while.
It's mostly grapefruit.
Yeah.
It's like taking a grapefruit bath.
It does make you want to drop a shot of vodka or gin in there, doesn't it?
Oh my God.
Oh, I might do that tonight.
Here we go.
I'm sorry in advance. Well, cheers, everyone.
Schaffenhofer Boilermakers. That's the way to go.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. This is Hot Yeast, and we are just getting started today.
Be right back.
Well, welcome back. Let's kick things off right away with a big question: Why summer brewing scares the hell out of people?
Because they've always been burned, or because they've all been burned. Wait a minute, let me finish that.
Yeah, you got more.
You got more. Because they've been burned, literally and figuratively. Every brewer I know has at least one too hot to handle fermentation story, and most of them involved an unplanned trip to Banana Town.
Ah, yeah, the dreaded isomal acetate. Yeah. That is the compound responsible for that ripe banana flavor. Definitely shows up in yeast, pushed past its comfort zone. Unless you're brewing a Hefeweizen, that's a bad time.
Yeah, we're talking Kolsch's that taste like gum, blondes that smell like a smoothie bar, everything you didn't ask for in a summer beer.
It's not just banana. I think pushing the yeast when it's too hot, you're gonna get fusel alcohols that taste like nail polish remover. Yeah. Some of those phenols that give you a kind of a Band-Aid compounds. Yeah, bad time. And
Band-Aid
sometimes yeast just fucking quit. They die. They give up. They're gone. That's not great.
So if you ever opened a fermenter and thought that, did I brew this or did it accidentally invent a new juice cleanse, you're not alone.
So but, and this is a big but, it's not the heat that's a problem. It's not understanding when and how the heat affects your but, and this is a big but. It's not the heat that's the problem. It's understanding when and how the effects of heat impact your yeast.
Spoiler alert, it's all about that first 48 hours, which we're going to get that in a minute.
So if you're thinking about putting off brewing until the fall, don't. Terrible idea. I know the traditional like
You can
lager,
absolutely brew.
with lager caves they'd make a bunch of beer and not brew all summer long, but we don't have to do that. We have options. You can absolutely brew through the summer. You just need a few tricks up your sleeve.
Yeah, we'll talk about what your yeast is actually doing during those early hours, and how to keep things from going off the rails.
So stay tuned. Your fermentation's hot girl summer is about to get a lot cleaner. I don't know what that joke means.
Your summer girls are getting cleaner?
Let me redo that one.
Wait a minute. I want to say this. Stay tuned. Your fermenter's hot girl summer is about to get a lot cleaner.
Is that a thing? I don't know what that means.
A girl summer?
Hot girl summer.
Hot girl summer.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. You remember the guy? He got busted. He got super rich off those the spring break videos.
Oh, the girls.
The Girls Gone Wild or
yeah.
something. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. I think that's what we're talking about here. Here, let me take another sip.
Yeah. I mean, you might as well. It's only 2.5%.
There's so much grapefruit and juice in that. Oh, all right. So let's break this down, Ben.
Yeah.
Phase one, the lag phase.
You are skipped over like a whole chunk.
I did.
Yep. Segment 2. What's really going on in the first 48?
Oh. No. Oh, yeah. I saw that in the first one. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's get a little nerdy for a minute, because this is where most of our summer brews go sideways. The first 48 hours of fermentation are the make it or break it window.
All right, so think of yeast. You can think of yeast like a spring break. It starts with stretching, rehydrating, maybe a little oxygen intake, and then it turns into a full-on rager.
Let's break this one down.
All right. Phase 1, you got the lag phase. Here's what things going on. You got 0 to 12 or 0 to 24 hours. Really, lag phase kind of implies that not much is going on, but that's not true. We've talked about that before.
Yeah,
The
your yeast is waking up.
It's waking up, absorbing oxygen, taking in
Nutrition to build their
fatty
cell
acids,
membranes.
sterols, all sorts of good stuff, getting ready to do the job. You are not going to see bubbling at this phase.
Don't panic on this one. We've talked about this before.
Yeah. Don't panic. It's doing its thing. Here's the kicker. Fermentation temperature matters here too. If you pitch too warm, the yeast starts synthesizing alpha acetolactate, which is the precursor for diacetyl. You know that that shitty movie theater popcorn flavor? That's not what we're going for here. Diacetyl, not for me. So we got to keep this the temperature low here
Low
too.
here.
Yeah, keep it above.
Right when we first pitch, as low as we can. So phase 2 is the exponential growth, which is 12 to 48 hours. 12, 24 to 48 hours. That second day, the yeast is now it's multiplying like crazy. It's been eating. It's taking in all of its nutrition to multiply. This is where most of our flavor compounds are made.
Yeah, so that includes your esters, and you got a traditional ale, or a Belgian. We want some of those.
Yep.
But this is also
Depends on your
banana,
styles.
pear, bubblegum. Some of those nasty. Some of those guys we're not, outside of a hef, we might not be going for. Phenols, fusel alcohols, all right here.
Yep. Well, the higher temps equal more byproduct. Yep. So if your fermenter is sitting at 76 in your garage, your Kolsch is going to taste like a smoothie.
So, you got to remember, like fermentation, that process is thermogenic. It means the yeast creates heat while they're working. So this can result in a 5 to 10 degree temperature difference above your ambient temperature. So if your garage is sitting at 76, your yeast could be cruising at 86, and you are begging for problems right there.
Yep. So what can you do about this? Here's how you keep your brew from turning into a banana bonfire.
So pitch it cool. If your yeast says 68 to 72 degrees, aim for 64 to 66 at pitch. It'll rise. It'll rise.
Use a swamp cooler or ice bottles right away. Don't wait for things to get fruity.
Love those little stick-on thermometers. You can monitor the beer temp, not just the room. That's fantastic.
That's important to have.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Monitor aggressively for the first 2 days. Keep your eye on it. After that, you relax a little, but you need to know what's going on in that first 24 and then the second 24.
Naturally, this is talking to everybody who, I don't know if it's obvious, but we're talking to people who don't have temperature-controlled fermentation space. We don't have a dedicated fridge for our beer. It's on our
Right.
dream board, but
You're gonna
we
have to
don't
adjust.
that
You're
yet.
gonna have to adjust your water bottles or your ice bottles. You can use like a towel.
Yeah, so
you know,
we're
with
talking to
water.
like the 90% who don't have
Right.
temperature controlled fermentation. This is we got your back. We
right.
got your back.
You
today.
don't have to be a control freak. You know, if you can keep this stuff dialed in, you know, for the first 24 and the second 24, heck, you know, wait until 72 hours. You'll see a huge difference if you keep this under control for the first 3 days. I mean, you're there.
Yeah, that's most of those problems are
You're gonna see. You're
yeah.
gonna see such an uptick in your beer.
So yeah, you're gonna see those cleaner flavors, better attenuation, less chance of your friends spitting out that first sip.
That's embarrassing.
That's only happened to me. Maybe well, they didn't spit it out, but they probably They could have won. They probably wanted to. It was a banana bomb. It was
Turn
a
your
banana
back. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
My
just
first
like
beer. My first beer was a banana bomb.
drooled it back into their
Yeah.
glass.
Not for me.
Well, coming up next, the old school cooling tricks that still work. I kind of mentioned some, even if your old brew house doesn't have a single piece of tech behind it, beyond a fan and a hose.
So yeah, it involves wet towels. So you're not going to want to miss that action.
Right. We can do a little. There we go.
Welcome back. We did promise you some hacks, so here they are. If you don't have a fermentation fridge or a glycol chiller, an underground lagering cave, you can still nail the summer brewing with some good old-fashioned homegrown ingenuity.
Oh, we call that backyard tech.
So here's how to
cool down your fermentation without spending more than, say, $8.
$8?
$8.
Pretty, that's good.
$10. It's probably $10 with inflation these days.
So I'm gonna go straight to the meat and potatoes. Like the biggest one is your DIY swamp cooler.
Swamp cooler.
Yep. So doesn't.
Are we
get-
talking about? Am I gonna have to go to my neighbor's house, take this sucker off his roof, pull it down, rig it up somehow?
No. You're just gonna need like a shallow basin, like a tub or a bin.
Oh, I can go buy one of these at the Home Depot.
Yeah, something
Okay.
wider than your fermenter,
Yeah.
but shallow. Like,
Shallow.
I've got a 4-inch, I got a 4-inch deep tub. I think I got it at a feed store.
Oh, we're talking DIY now.
Yeah.
Got
This
it,
is
got
it. And I filled it. You're gonna fill it with water,
Yep.
and you're gonna sink your fermenter. You know, it's not gonna sink it all the way. It's only mine's only 4 inches deep, but I put it in that water bath.
Right. So it's got you've got the water in there. Now the carboys or the buckets. in
Buckets
there.
or carboy drops in there, and I'm gonna wrap it with either a cotton towel or a cotton T-shirt. And I'm gonna
We're
emphasize:
gonna drape it or wrap it.
wrap it, drape it, throw it, whatever.
Drape it and wrap it?
Cover it. Otherwise,
Cover it.
Yeah, I'm gonna emphasize it's got to be cotton.
All over.
Cotton.
Okay, cotton.
Yeah.
Because it has to wick.
Yeah, cotton will wick. You know, this is just how like lanterns work or candles. Like it wicks.
Yeah, there's a
uphill. You know,
There's a
liquids go
sign.
uphill.
I wish I had some
Capillary action is
Is it
what it's
capillary
called.
action.
Yep.
We talked about this before.
Yeah,
I think.
probably.
There we go.
So that water is the cotton will soak up that water. It'll get the whole the shirt damp, and then we just point a fan at it. So you've got a little and this is basically a little evaporative cooler. Now, if you live in an arid landscape, your air
perfect.
conditioner,
Arizona.
yeah, Arizona,
Wonderful.
huge swamp cooler land. It's energy efficient. It's low, low
Don't do
power.
don't do it in your garage.
Yeah.
Just
These systems are not popular where we live here in the Pacific Northwest because it is too humid. We camp out at like 50% humidity or worse a lot of the year, and
so they don't work in high
evaporative
humidity.
cooling
Yep.
is not as great when there's a lot of moisture in there. Or Arizona, it's all arid as shit. Works fantastic. So put a fan on it.
Put a fan on it.
And what happens is as the liquid evaporates off of the T-shirt, it actually sucks heat out of.
Takes the heat out.
Yeah, it takes the heat away, and you can actually get a couple degrees below. Maybe 4 or 5 degrees below ambient,
Right.
just in that little microclimate.
You could.
Yeah.
You may be tempted to use ice to cool it, though. I mean, if it cools faster, but in reality, it's that now that the colder water takes longer to evaporate and negatively impacts the efficiency. So be sure to keep an eye out on the water level, even though no sense in running out. No, that doesn't sound right. So be sure to keep an eye out on the water level. No sense in running out.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, we got
next
next hack. What do we got here? We got cool spot
scavenging.
scavenging. Oh man,
We're running through our home. So he was talking about in Arizona, you can't go down into the garage.
the garage at my dad's house in
Garage is
Arizona is a
hot.
horrible place for beer.
Yep. In the bathroom in the middle of the house, probably the best place for it.
Or or if it's on the north side of your house.
North
Yeah,
facing
bathroom.
closets.
In fact, an unused guest bathroom on
Unused
the north
guest
side
bathroom.
of your
Yep.
house in a closet. Like that would be that's usually going to be a much cooler spot. If you have a basement, dude, do it in the basement. Brew in the basement. Ferment in the basement. Crawl space. Actually, go ahead.
Now, unused guest bathrooms where you can turn the heat off.
Yeah, like
kind of throws me for a little loop because I'm not sure if I had guests from Alaska or even higher than that.
True, it
the
is
North
summertime.
Pole.
That's I've been advocating for unused guest bathrooms for a while.
Unused heated guest bathrooms.
Well, during the wintertime, or if it's too warm in the, if you cranked your heat up in the wintertime, that's a thing. But we're talking about summer brewing. We're not talking about wintertime brewing.
Right.
I still like those bathrooms because I could park it in the bathtub, and if things did get pear-shaped and blow up, I can just hose it down. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I told a story about my closet before. Carboy. Yeah, it was in Arizona, coolest spot in the house. It was in the center of the house, my little closet. It was 4x4 closet. Had 2 little racks on each side. Perfectly in the middle. My carboy would sit there and had my evaporative cooler going on in my bucket, as you said, with my towel wrapped over it, and I had dry hopped it. Hey, lucky one lucky thing.
Do you have eruption? Do you have a little eruption?
Yeah, it erupted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it blew. But the closet was mine and mine alone.
You didn't have like the linens in
the
there?
wife, nope.
Yeah.
It was only my clothes. So the wife was not mad at all.
Oh man,
you got to
lucky
clean your own
you,
stuff up.
Because if you stick it in the linen closet and then
She has to clean it.
turn all of the sheets into
Green
or porter colored, you're gonna get divorced, dude.
Yep.
That's not great. So I've stuck fermenters in an old root cellar in my house, like
down on the side of the garage, or
like literally, like it's kind of like the storm shelter kind of Oklahoma City special.
Yep.
Underneath the house where our hot water heater is down there. So even with the hot water heater, the temperature 6 feet below grade was cooler than the rest of the house. That thing that kept things.
The one cool. place I never brewed was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, when I lived there, and that place had a root cellar like that.
Yeah,
it would have been perfect.
It would have been great. Garages are fantastic. So they're usually, I know my garage during the
I could have rigged it up.
Excuse me, not my garage. Scratch that. Basements are fantastic.
Basements are wonderful.
If you are fortunate enough to have a basement, you know,
Had a
don't
basement.
worry about any of this conversation because you've already figured
basements
out.
before.
Like, you brew in a basement. It's great.
I've brewed in many basements.
Fantastic. I heard about a guy like had an unfinished like daylight basement, and there was like a retaining wall because his house is on a slope.
Right.
So there was that like unfinished section with the dirt kind of at the backside of his house, and he shoved ferment. He like excavated out dirt in there.
Yeah.
It's not the only closet. I've heard a couple guys like dragging their fermenters down into the crawl space of their house,
right?
To escape the heat. So I mean, like where there's a will, you can freaking do it. Like you find that cool spot to keep it under control.
Scavenger hunt.
You can still brew because hydration during the summer is important. My doctor agrees.
You need it all year long.
He does. My doctor agrees. Hydration is super important. He's also
bad things about.
He's also
stopping.
my doctor's a brewer, so I don't have to explain.
We don't want to be
quitters.
quitters.
I don't have to explain a lot of this shit to him. Next up, so temp monitoring or insulation. However you can manage this. During the wintertime, bubble wrap, sleeping bags, these kind of fermenter jackets are a thing. But remember, we've also insulation works in the other direction too. We're resistant to heat from the exterior hitting the interior.
Right.
And if you put
your heat's not going to escape that thermo
thermogenic reaction.
Thermogenic.
Yeah.
that thermogenic reaction.
An insulator seems counterintuitive right here, but if we stuck a frozen ice bottle, even as simple as something as a cardboard box with a milk jug of ice, it's gonna be cooler in there than it will be in the rest of the house.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you put it in the box in a sealed box, I
Mhm.
mean, it doesn't have to be super airtight. Just seal it. Put your ice in there. You don't have to wrap it. You don't want any of the insulation on it because you want to chill the airspace in between the box and your bucket or your cardboard.
Yeah. So trap it in. It's like basically, it's just like your cooler.
Yep.
You're making a cooler for your beer. A cooler is just an insulated box. We put ice in there and it keeps our hot dogs cold for all Memorial Weekend, all that good stuff. So don't, you might get extra use out of that puffy winter jacket from North Face if you put an ice bottle, wrap it around your beer with an ice bottle in there and keep that sumbitch cool.
Yep. Stick on those LCD strips.
Yeah.
Those are the easiest.
Yeah, just do it.
I mean,
it's great.
How did I used to, I had the laser.
A laser guided infrared non-contact surface temperature indicator?
Yeah.
I love mine.
It was okay. I think it was a little low on the temp.
I've tested mine. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Let's see. So yeah, that temp strip. Take the beer temperature, not your ambient temperature. I think that's important.
That's incredible.
We did put out like a visual checklist, kind of like a little graph or chart for some of this information. It's on the website nwbrewers.com / the hot break. The summer brewing article. It's got a little nice little thing you can
basically tells you how much of a temp drop you got.
Yeah. Here's here's the hack. Here's
how easy is it to do.
The results. So here's the short. If you didn't read that and you want to get right to it, the too long didn't read section. Swamp cooler. Make one of those with a bucket, a towel, and a fan. You're gonna get 5 to 10 degrees temperature differential. This is easy to do
and way fun.
Yeah.
You can do ice bottles. You can do the freeze 2 liter bottles of water in the
milk
freezer.
jugs.
Or milk jugs. Depends on how big your bucket is that you're putting your fermenter or your bucket is.
Mm-hmm.
This is the easiest one, but you only get a plus 3 to 5 temperature difference.
And if the ice isn't in contact with your beer, it's not as great.
Yeah.
But it's easy. It's cheap. Cool spot, that closet, that basement, that scenario. You might get 3 to 8 degrees depending on your scenario.
Different from your ambient.
And that's going to be there's going to be some a lot of variable. But if you don't have a basement, you can't do that.
And if we want to elevate our fermenter, say with a foam pad,
we didn't talk about that one. Yeah,
you'll get a little bit more because you get the airflow underneath it.
Right. So your garage floor may be actually holding on to maybe retaining heat longer than you want it to. So even a cool daytime, cool garage during the day,
it's going to suck that
might
heat right out.
Be a little hotter at night. Might stay a little too hot at night. So getting your beer up off the ground, putting some insulation in a foam pad, or
it'll give
you
maybe
just getting off the ground,
maybe a couple degrees.
Yeah, a couple degrees. Dirt simple.
I mean, the point is, even if your room feels like it's a sauna, you don't have to let your yeast melt. So just get creative.
Oh man. So before we break, for some of us did, we did all this for years, and then we broke down and got a temperature control. Do you remember back in the day there was like a Ranco dual stage digital temp controller for like $200 or something.
Yep.
This is like $1990 $200, which is like a lot more than
like
today.
$500 these
So I found
days.
out kind of why those things were always so ridiculously expensive. They're actually listed on the Underwriters Laboratory listing. So they're
a
UL
laboratory
listing.
piece.
Yeah, so it's not lab post, but it's
And
also
UL.
the UL listing. Basically, the lawyers said this is okay. It's not going to catch your house on fire. That costs $1 million for that testing and certification, which means
They need to
every
pull the price
product
up.
sold is going to pay that testing and certification.
Part of the deal.
It's kind of a thing. And so they were, notoriously expensive. My first one was the STC
So the Rainbird doesn't have that on there?
Inkbird.
Inkbird.
I'll have to look a little closer on the Inkbird. I remember
Rainbird's
I had
for your
the
sprinklers.
the STC 1000, which was a product by now Inkbird. But it was like it just came this little microprocessor, and I had to wire it to everything, and solder wires to electrical plugs, and It was very DIY, and it was only available in Celsius, okay, right? Because the mess were weird. And
So when
still
you
use
wired it
Fahrenheit.
wrong and it caused your house fire, they were to blame because it was that DIY.
So I didn't wire it wrong. However, I did use I did use a lamp or a incandescent bulb as a heat source.
Yeah.
It was shrouded in a paint can. I did that kind of tech for a heat source so I could have dual stage. Except that can was too close to the interior of the refrigerator and completely melted the plastic.
Melted the plastic.
Yeah. Turns out 60 watt or 100 watt bulbs will melt plastic.
They're pretty hot.
They got hot.
They will melt your
got hot.
face if you put your face on there.
Yeah.
You probably could have grabbed like some of that Nomex cloth and put
Is that
on
like the bubble wrappy or?
No, it's like it would seem like a fiberglass cloth.
Oh yeah.
It's for fire retardant.
Yep.
And you could probably, in that area that you put that incandescent bulb, if you can even find an incandescent bulb these days,
right?
you'd want to do
We're
that.
dating ourselves a little bit right here. It's all LEDs.
Well, I wanted to give a shout out to our Norwegian friends because this Kveik yeast is about to come in hot.
Yeah. Speaking of Kveik yeast, we actually brought some in today. We should pause to.
I'm ready. Let's
pour another pint.
pour another pint here. Let me. Whoa, that was good. That was quite an
impressive.
explosion too.
Yeah. The good thing the lid for that growler is fully attached, as that blew off. So the Kveik yeast, we did that episode a couple weeks ago. This is the James Blonde extract version, brewed on Kveik yeast. This beer has been in the keg for just about a week, but the beer itself is only about 12 days old. It's still a very young beer. So if you're listening out here in Norway, we are enjoying this Kveik yeast.
Enjoying this Kveik. Cheers, Ben.
Cheers, buddy. Little Christmas. It's definitely gotten better the last couple days. Like it was a very young beer. I mean, at 3 days
Yeah,
old.
no, this is really good.
Yeah.
It's got a creamy head.
Yep. Like Centennial and Simcoe for the hops. Yeah.
It's not bitter. It's very crushable.
So it's a blonde ale, but it's a hoppy blonde. It's about 25 IBUs.
It's almost amber.
Yeah, it's. I'm not sure what's. Extract beers tend towards darker than
Then
their
a really
Albright.
light.
Yeah.
Did you use the Pilsner DME or just the
Pilsen DME should be on
Yeah.
the list. Yeah. We
Even
also
the
did
Pilsen
like
did this, huh?
like a 3.5 the partial volume boil for this. We were just like.
Did you add any adjunct?
Just what? Let's see. Simcoe's Crystal 10 and.
Oh, Crystal 10 is where it's coming from.
Carapil or
Yeah.
Crystal 40 and Carapils.
Yeah, that's where you get your color.
Yep. And that's it. Not much going
Easy?
on. Yeah, easy
Super
beer.
easy.
We just want to let's make a beer real quick. We've got half a shift left. We'll do a partial volume boil. Actually, I think we were brewing something else that day, and it was
It's real
midway
clean.
through the boil. This is the Stalin
Stalin
strain.
Stalin strain.
We fermented it at 90 degrees.
90.
90.
Okay.
Yeah, we have temperature control, and we used it the other way, in the other damn direction.
Right. Okay. How do you get your new temperature control?
Well, this one, so our insulated box, apart from running, we have a chest freezer, and apart from the compressor for the freezer, we also have a heater in there. It's a little 40-watt incandescent or a 40-watt radiant heater. It's the fast ferment or the firm wrap is what it's called, and it's like remember water beds? Remember the heater for water beds?
Yeah.
It's like one of those. It's a real thin sheet.
Little membrane.
Yeah, but it puts off heat. Not a ton, but it will heat up the space.
So it's like my seed starter that I put under my seed plants
Pretty much.
too.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would, because I can't get a waterbed these days.
Yeah.
But I mean,
yeah.
but I can
'cause
go
you couldn't
on-
get out of one.
Yeah, I can go on Amazon.com and thank you very much for that ad.
Or Northwest Brewer Supply.
Or
We got 'em
Northwest
too.
Brewer Supply.
Yeah.
Oh, you have them?
I got firm wraps. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I got one.
Oh shit, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the old waterbed.
No, but I have the firm wrap.
NorthwestBrewerSupply.com.
NWBrewers. actually.
Oh, sorry. God, here.
Yeah.
nwbrewers.com for sure.
For sure. So, yeah, this is definitely, so it's talking about this Kveik yeast. These are yeasts that love the heat. Holy shit. 90 degrees. I remember from that interview on episode 26, they were talking, one of the guys had done like 104 degrees or something, which is where you usually kill yeast.
Right. 104, you'd
Like a lot of yeast
Definitely.
cells die off.
And they're really tasting bad at that point.
Some, like, except for these guys.
I used to use this yeast weekly in Mexico.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, because you had a warm
I had a warm
every
fermenter.
day,
I only
every
had
day.
I only had two cold fermenters, and then I had a just a stainless steel, one. I only had 2 fridges, so
Right.
my it was a nano brewery, so I had 2 fridges and 2 the 14.5 gallon Blickman stainless fermenters,
Right.
and I had those modified for the new fittings, for the tri-clamp fittings, because I converted my whole system to that. And I wanted to do more. And
Wanted more beer.
Yeah, and I had it. And I'm like, I can use this Kveik yeast any day of the week. I mean, it was 72 and sunny most of the days there. But I mean, you did have your range.
If your yeasts are going to climb 10 degrees.
Right. You're at 84.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a banana bomb for every other yeast.
Yep.
Yep. I sold my last date. It's a booger.
de-
It's a
probably
booger that
decent-
way.
Probably decent for the Hefeweizens.
Hefeweizen for sure.
Yeah, but I like my Hefeweizens fermented a little bit lower, and I love that bubblegum flavor in it.
Oh, yeah.
I just want that. I want the banana.
A little banana, but that
Little tiny-
bubblegum flavor is.
I want that mid-range
Yeah.
bubblegum.
You keep it
pop.
like 62 degrees
Yep.
for your
Oh,
hef.
super.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
I don't know why bubblegum tastes so fucking good in
In
beer.
in a beer.
In fucking beer. Yeah.
In a wheat
It's
beer.
really good.
And
In a
well,
wheat- yeah.
it can't go with hops either. Right. So there's certain flavors that'll kind of
A little
like
clashy.
yeah.
It's too good.
All right.
So
Which
if
yeast are we gonna start out with?
let's see. Kveik yeast, obviously, Norwegian farmhouse strains, gonna be like the easy choice, and I think with availability these days, how could you go wrong?
Right. Do you have all 4?
I've got all of the Kveik yeast here. We brought in all 4 of the Hornadal, or I am gonna butcher all the names, but I did bring all 4 of their current offerings. This is the Stalin. It's the red
Good.
pack. It's really good. These guys ferment 95 degrees or better. In fact, the guys during that interview, they're like, just get it
go.
hot.
Yeah,
just get
just
it
get
hot.
it hot.
Like a hop.
And they'll do it in 2 to 3 days. I remember mine. I mean, mine were done in 3 days, and I swear I had clear beer in 5 days. 5 days. I'd cold crash it. I might have been on a 7-day rotation. I think I brewed 3 times a week. Yeah, I was on a 7-day rotation. So it was 7 days of beer.
I'm playing with the lineup. This one is not. I haven't done any clarifying. It's not as clear as I would typically like things. We are cold crashing. I've got the Sacred Cow on the same yeast. We're cold crashing that one currently. It's going to get kegged tomorrow. We'll see how that one goes.
Yeah.
If it needs to be clear, we'll do a clear.
Which style is that one?
It's an IPA.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I pitched right on top of the yeast cake for this one. I'm like,
Right.
well, so I was trying to harvest the yeast.
Yeah.
Skim the krausen
Right.
and dry it out and say it's kind of a traditional
Right.
Kveik thing to do. Turns out, because these guys are done in 2 to 3 days, the krausen happens about 8 hours after you leave for the night. And
Right.
It's done by the time you come back in the morning.
Okay. So you could
Missed it twice.
Right. You can put that in a yeast. You can grab it out of yeast cake.
Tomorrow I'm
You're gonna experiment.
Tomorrow I'm gonna grab some of that out of the
Right
bottom. I'm gonna put it in a paper towel filter
on.
or a coffee filter and let it dry out.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna pitch that into a beer just for shits and giggles.
So talking about what you're just saying, that's kind of how I did my operation. Was I would brew 3 times a week, and I would have 2 of my beers rotated on one of the days. So I'd brew the Brick and the Ox on like Wednesday. I'd always brew a Kveik on Monday, and I'd brew something on Thursday. And so I'd always have a 1 week rotation so I could reuse that yeast. So I'd take it out of the fermenter, put it in the kegs, I wouldn't use the cake. I would not use the cake. I bought, I think, maybe from you, I don't know, stainless steel big turkey baster.
Oh yeah.
And so, and that thing is 18 inches long. So you just sanitize that, stick it down inside that yeast cake. You know, you can tell how far it was.
Right.
You stick it down and
like
then,
the good stuff in the middle kind of thing.
I taught my brewer how to get the good stuff.
Yeah.
So every time you'd get in there and put it in.
Yeah, yeast harvesting is not as simple as it. I mean, I pitched on the cake.
He did really well at it. He did really good at it. Yeah.
But yeah, because if you mess up, you're either you can mess up in a couple of different ways. On that.
And then you get bad stuff.
Yeah, either bad yeast,
or now you don't have another. Now you have to go buy more yeast.
If you grab if you do it too soon, you're grabbing yeast that quit early.
Yeah.
If you do it too late, you're propagating
the tired
yeast
yeast
that don't ever go to bed and flocculate out. You know, stuff like Hefeweizen strains where we want yeast in suspension full time. It's a low flocculating yeast. Well, if we harvest late, we get, way too late. We can multiply the ones we don't want.
Right.
So it's
we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
We want to go in the middle and grab those healthy dudes, and that was really cool.
Hey,
so that's very. I can't remember what strain I was using.
That'd be cool if you did.
All I know is just Kveik.
Yeah. Speaking of the Kveik show, that episode 26 is the most popular show to date, outside of like the first episode. Everybody's listening to the first episode, but the Kveik episode is doing really, really good.
Very nice
out there.
Very nice.
Which is kind of cool. Next up, we've got Saisons and Belgians.
Saison and Belgians?
Oh, yeah. Historically, fermented in barns with wild temp swings all summer long.
What are you saying? It's not just Kveik that can handle this heat?
Right.
Okay.
There's more than one. There's more than one player.
Tell me.
We did a show on Belgian on
Saison
Saisons here not too long ago.
That was a good show.
But yeah. So get into Saisons and Belgians, 75 to 85 degree temperature range, dry finishing, spicy, with maybe a little phenol edge that is a tasty phenolic edge. Really great.
When it's appropriate, it's delicious.
Yeah, I really like them. So look for like Lallemand Farmhouse, Yeast 3711, Abbey Ales. There's a bunch of any of the Belgian strains. Most of the Belgian strains are going to be higher.
Yeah, so they can all go above
degrees.
80.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I mean, the Belgian strains are known for being ester.
Very estery,
right?
yeah, very fruity and estery. So you're kind of expecting that flavor, already.
So we're not afraid of it in Belgian land,
right? So maybe what we're gonna do during the hottest. Well, let's say for us during the hottest time is like August.
Right.
We're gonna brew our Belgians for August. I mean, if we concentrate on that, we could brew some good,
some good beers.
Good beers during the summer. Good winter beer.
You don't have to slow down.
Beers.
We don't have to slow down at all. Jeez. So Belgians, the Saison strains, Belgian or French Saison strains. These are yeasts with personality, character. Man, they are exactly. They can be exactly what you want. Not only to drink during the summer, but to keep your brew house active, keep it going.
Yeah, don't stop,
please.
Right. And for those of us who like to keep it simple, we have dry yeasts that can take the heat as well.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here?
Yeah, so I did a little more research. Windsor, like Lallemand Windsor, it's an English ale strain, along with Nottingham.
Yeah.
Both of these guys are pretty stable up to 74 degrees. Scotch ale is up in there, though not available in a dry yeast. But these warmer fermentation, again, English ale strains, we want a little ester profile. A little of that fruit is going to be fine.
I do not remember brewing a Scotch ale ever.
At or down in Mexico?
Anywhere.
Ever? Oh, so I brew a Scotch ale deliberately twice a year.
Yeah, you tell me
just so I
that.
can age it.
We drank one.
Yeah, it's so yummy.
It was good.
Yeah.
I would like to try that. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Brew them. So some of those English ale strains can go up to 74 degrees without major problems. So they're not going to banana bombs. They're not going to stress out. They're okay.
Right. So if you're using these dry yeast in the heat, here's a key move: hydrate first.
Rehydrate.
Oh,
Yeah.
rehydrate.
Yeah,
I
get
didn't
your
even
wheat
know it was hydrated to begin with. So, yeah, hydrate it, rehydrate it.
Yeah.
Just don't jump it. Just don't. All right. If you're using dry yeast in the heat, here's a key move: rehydrate it first. Don't just dump it on top of that wort. Give it a head start. Trust it.
Yeah, this is one I'm not trying to stress out the yeast more with warm temperatures. This is kind of like compounding my problems. So a little rehydration protocol, easy 15 minutes.
Are we going to use a little bit of our wort?
Sometimes it's just water. There are some excellent nutrition strains like Go Firm. It's actually designed for bringing yeast back around. You know, they're coming out of dormant, especially in dry yeast. They're coming out of a desiccated, freeze-dried or desiccated state with deep dormancy. Like giving them a little like zhuzh in the right direction.
Right. Well, I'm boiling for. I mean, I've never done this, and I'm boiling for an hour, so I can take, after 15 minutes of my boil, maybe 10 minutes after my boil starts. Just take a cup or so, let it cool, let it get down to temp, and then pitch my yeast in there and get a little slurry.
I can see that, in baking, we can see a lot of, like proofing your yeast and a little bit of sugar. And
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking about the simplistic way of doing it.
So if you're brewing in summer, don't fight the heat. Brew to the heat. Kveiks, Saisons, Belgian strains. Man, they're built for it. So stick around. Your next summer brew might be your best one yet.
Coming up, a quick wrap-up and the takeaways to make sure you brew with confidence all summer long.
All right, let's land this plane.
In summer?
In summer, yeah.
With no landing gear?
Right.
And a carboy full of Kveik?
Right.
Okay.
So here's what we learned. Summer brewing, totally doable. You just need to pick the right tools for the job.
The right yeast, the right style, a bucket of water and maybe some ice packs, and a fan if you're feeling fancy.
So let's get some quick takeaways for you guys. The first 48 to 72 hours are going to matter the most. That's when your yeast are setting the tone. So pitch it cool, monitor the temps, and give it a stable start.
Use yeasts that like it hot. Kveik, Saisons, Belgian strains, and certain dry yeasts were built for this warm weather.
Man, cool your fermenter with some backyard tech. Swamp coolers, shady closets, whatever you've got. Use whatever you've got. Start there.
And brew styles that embrace the heat. Farmhouse ales, wit beers, wheats, blondes all shine in the warm fermentation. Most importantly, don't let the weather slow you down. If you want to keep brewing all summer, we've got you covered.
And if you want a little more detail on this, check out the full blog post on nwbrewers.com/summerbrewingtips. We got the whole thing laid out for you.
We've got warm weather brew kits in stock. Classes happening this month, and if you're still unsure what to brew, just drop us a message. We're always happy to help.
A good cold beer is refreshing, and these new light beers with less calories, well, you could say I've discovered how good a light beer can taste. I really get a kick out of those light beer commercials with all those burly guys joshing around. But you don't need to be macho to enjoy Rainier Light.
Hey, Marlene, give me another beer.
Get it yourself, Bob! Sometimes it does help, though.
Yeah. So we are working on the next episode. Well, I'm a couple episodes ahead of the curve here. The working title so far for this next one is "How to Unfuck Your Brew Day."
Ooh.
I know.
Sound like a Friday episode.
Yeah. Every brewer has had more than a few mishaps along the way, and mastery of the craft is like the difference between masters and amateurs is not the frequency of fuck ups. Okay, masters just know how to hide their mistakes a little bit better. So if you've got a brew day disaster story that you were able to fix on the fly, we want to hear from you. Email us at brew@nwbrewers.com. Each story will be entered in a drawing for free beer kit from Northwest Brewers Supply. And I'll ship that shit too. So if you're listening
Sounds fun.
somewhere in the world
Come on,
right
everybody.
now, I'll sip it to you. I'll make
Send me
sure
your
it happens.
stories.
So send us your stories about a brew day disaster you fixed.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So until then, keep your yeast happy, your carboys cool, and for the love of hops, no more banana IPAs.
Please, God. Cheers. Cheers, Brew Crew. We'll see you next time on the Beer Craft Podcast.